Have you ever felt like your relationships lack the depth or warmth you crave? Maybe you've had moments where you wanted to connect but didn't know how to bridge the gap. Building meaningful bonds doesn't just happen, it takes intention and effort. But here's the thing, with a few key strategies, you can transform how you relate to others and create connections that genuinely matter. Let's uncover how. Relationships are at the core of our happiness and well-being. Think about it. The most joyful moments in life are often shared with others. Whether it's family, friends, or colleagues, strong connections provide support, understanding, and a sense of belonging. On the flip side, weak or strained relationships can leave us feeling isolated and stressed. When you invest in improving your connections, you're not just strengthening those relationships, you're also enriching your own life. Studies even show that people with strong social bonds live longer and are more resilient. So improving our connections isn't just a nice to have, it's essential. One of the simplest yet most powerful ways to build strong bonds is through active listening. And no, I don't just mean hearing what someone says. Active listening is about being fully present, giving the other person your undivided attention, and showing that you genuinely care about their words. Here's a challenge for you. Next time you're in a conversation, try pausing your internal dialogue. Resist the urge to think about what you're going to say next and focus entirely on the speaker. You'll be amazed at how much deeper the connection feels. Let me share a quick personal story. A few years ago, a close friend told me they felt unheard in our conversations. It hit me hard because I thought I was a good listener. But when I reflected, I realized I often interrupted or tried to finish their sentences. So I made a conscious effort to change. At first, it felt awkward to sit quietly and just listen. But over time, it became natural. Our conversations grew more meaningful, and that friend later told me they felt closer to me than ever. Have you experienced something similar where a small shift in how you communicate made a big difference? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Another game changer is showing genuine interest in others. People crave to be seen and understood, and when you show you're invested in their lives, it's a powerful way to strengthen bonds. One practical way is to ask open-ended questions that invite more than just a yes or no answer. Instead of asking, "Did you have a good weekend?" Try, "What was the most interesting thing you did this weekend?" This kind of question encourages a deeper response and shows that you're truly curious. Also, pay attention to the details. If someone mentions something important to them, a project at work, a family event, or even a hobby, follow up on it later. For example, if a coworker mentions their child's soccer game, follow up a few days later and ask, "How did your kid's game go?" It might seem small, but it shows that you care enough to remember. Another powerful way to show interest is through nonverbal cues. A smile, nodding, or leaning in slightly during conversations sends the message that you're fully engaged. Vulnerability is often misunderstood as a weakness, but it's actually a strength when it comes to forming connections. When you open up about your thoughts, feelings, or struggles, you create a space where others feel safe to do the same. For example, if you're talking to a friend who's facing a challenge, you could share a time when you dealt with something similar. Say something like, "I've been through something like that, and it was tough for me too. Here's how I managed to get through it." This doesn't just show empathy, it also fosters trust. Being vulnerable isn't about oversharing, it's about being authentic. For example, instead of brushing off a bad day with, "I'm fine," try saying, "It's been a tough day, but I'm managing." This invites others to connect with you on a deeper level. Vulnerability is the foundation for meaningful conversations and relationships. If you're not sure where to start, practice sharing something small about yourself and see how the other person responds. Empathy is a superpower when it comes to strengthening relationships. It's the ability to understand and share someone else's feelings. One way to practice empathy is by reflecting back what someone has said. For instance, if a friend tells you they're stressed about a project, you might say, "That sounds overwhelming. It must be tough to juggle all those responsibilities." This shows that you're not just hearing their words, but also understanding their emotions. Another tip is to avoid jumping to conclusions. Instead of assuming why someone acted a certain way, ask questions to understand their perspective. For example, "I noticed you seemed quiet earlier. Everything okay?" This opens the door for honest communication. Empathy also means being patient. Sometimes people need time to open up. By offering a listening ear and a non-judgmental attitude, you create a safe space where they feel comfortable sharing. Quality time isn't just about the quantity of moments spent together. It's about making those moments count. Whether it's having a heart-to-heart conversation or simply enjoying a shared activity, being fully present is what matters. In today's world of constant distractions, undivided attention has become a rare gift. Put away your phone, turn off notifications, and focus entirely on the person you're with. This simple act sends a powerful message. You matter to me. It's also important to customize how you spend time together based on the other person's interests. If your partner loves hiking, plan a day outdoors. If your friend enjoys cooking, take a cooking class together. Tailoring quality time to what they love shows that you value them deeply. Conflict is inevitable, but it doesn't have to damage relationships. In fact, when handled well, disagreements can actually strengthen your bond. Start by addressing the issue early instead of letting resentment build. When you do, use I statements rather than you statements. For example, say, "I felt hurt when this happened," rather than "you always do this." This keeps the conversation less accusatory and more productive. Also, practice active listening during conflicts. Repeat back what the other person says to show you understand their perspective. For example, "So you're saying you felt ignored when I didn't call back. Did I get that right?" This not only clarifies but also validates their feelings. Finally, focus on finding solutions together. Instead of saying, "This isn't working," try, "How can we make this better for both of us?" This approach fosters collaboration and ensures the conflict becomes an opportunity for growth. Let's quickly recap. Practice active listening. Show genuine interest. Be vulnerable. Cultivate empathy. Spend quality time. Resolve conflicts with care. Remember, improving your connections isn't about making grand gestures. It's the small, consistent efforts that matter most. Thank you for joining me on this journey to build stronger bonds. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit. And remember, your connections are the foundation of a fulfilling life, so nurture them with care. See you in the next video.